Wow, the dual bands, especially this recent update where we've reduced even more the fractional recalculation portion ahead of the. Uh, so we have two sets of bands. We have this set of bands. This is the one that I use for my FX institutional side trading. This has what's called fractional recalculation to it, which means it's very minimal. Um, and like for instance, all these signals today, I had them live, and my charts have been running all day, and that's where they were. It's not like they disappeared or anything like that. Um, we've got these babies just humming along. They're fantastic, and we have the iGrid Pack 2 coming out, trying to get it out this week, where I have even more. I have a whole new moment, another momentum indicator in addition to this one, another bar type I'm going to put in iGrid Pack 2, the completely non-recalculating version of these bands, and so on and so on. The main thing we've been working on is making sure that everybody in Algo Studio Pro that connects to NinjaTrader 8 for doing customized in-trade management and automation, anybody with Bloodhound Blackbird, Markers Plus, and I just found another one, what they call Captain Optimus or something from Ninja. We want to make sure all those tools that our traders have band positioning of the main bands and the fast bands at each bar close, and the bearish, these bullish and bearish cross signals, and so on. So today was a very methodical, nice day. From in the middle of the night we had sell signals, and then the one thing I want to know, okay, who got to know what the news was? The 9 o'clock U.S. Central Time news. So here's 9 o'clock U.S. Central Time. Somebody got the, hey, I heard the news is going to be good, and there was a buy set up, and we had a big reversal there leading up to the actual news about 12 minutes later, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was about 11 or 12 minutes later. But anyhow, somebody got the hint to be a buyer, and then off we went. We were in rally mode pretty much the rest of the day. So let's blow this up right here so you can really see everything real good. But yeah, there was the 9 o'clock Chicago Globex time, U.S. Central Time news. Did have one sell signal. Then I really like this area. I was a seller in here originally, but I did work two long signals. I worked this one here, and I worked that one there. But look at this, how nice this looked today. We had an ascending lows. Oh, that's a very scraggly line. So we had ascending lows, and then right here we had a big fat W pattern leading up to the second signal. And both times on these buy signals, what I always say, if you're going to work a buy signal, you want to enter the trade at the mid band of the main bands or below on buy signals, or the mid band or above as a seller on the short signals. If you're working the mean reversion trades, there's a lot of way that I use these setups, and then I did put in just a little bit of liquidity on here, and to see if they'd push the high, and sure enough they did. Which we've been in such a bullish mode all morning since the reversal. I figured it'd probably be good for one more push, and caught some of that. But yeah, that W pattern, you can't get any cleaner than that. And then the buy signal, and we were off to the races in a big push that pressed above the prior day's high, consolidated a bit, pulled back, got another buy signal, and they pushed again. Then here we had a M pattern rollover. So I like this little hook here, the hook to be a seller on that M pattern. The sell would be, at or above, or preferably above the mid band to be a seller. And that's kind of worked its way down if somebody wanted to hit something later in the day. But lots of nice setups today. This I thought was actually another decent setup, kind of a retest. You had a hook in the fast bands, and that hook gave you a sell side opportunity. didn't, and if this market, if this push was going to collapse, that's probably where it would have done it today. So that could have been in front of a move where we come back and backfill some of that prior rally range out of news. But they hung on and they bought and they bought. They were absorbing selling and pressed it higher and so on. But there was definitely some nice fat short setup opportunities in the overnight session as the the CAC, the FTSE, and the DAX were trading some nice pushes and then rollovers. And you can't beat it too when you get a short setup like that. And at the time, the iGrid Momo's in downside momentum. And just like here, let me get these drawing tools. Just like here, yes, I had some little slaps down in the Momo, but at the time, I was getting buy signals. We were getting immediate snapbacks. So when you see these little excursions away and lift, you can use those as standalone quick scalping setups. In general, the main bands were up, a little bit of a plateau period, then lifting again, and you get a pullback snap. So those are areas you can work little quick scalps where you put your stop never more than just below most recent price pivot and see if you can get something to run. And then we just stayed, bullish momentum for the rest of this entirety of the move. Now, I have my iGrid Momo set in a way that it's a little bit more of a bigger picture look of things. You can use two Momos. You can have one Momo that's bigger picture and another Momo on top of it that's more responsive. So when you see the bands straight up and your Momo goes, cyan, Dodger blue, cyan, you can catch pops. So if you wanted to get in, like for instance, out of the news, we had a big ramp, we had the news come out, and then we got a pullback with the hook. And we were, positive bullish momentum at the time. So that's a good area to work setups. Here was a deep pullback and a hook. Oscillated a bit, but eventually got a little bit of a push. But we eventually did get some pullbacks where the fast bands had excursions outside the main bands and then lift. So like I've said in a few videos, we're just getting warmed up. These are adaptive price bands. They're not Waleed, whatever the heck crap, or they're not linear or they're not polynomial regression channels. They're not center of gravity. They're not TMAs, and so on and so on. These are adaptive price bands I built first back in 2008. I don't know, was it 2-3 years back? I built a non-recalculating version of them for the new algo system. That was like generation 5 of the bands. I'm on to generation 7 of the bands. So they're working really, really well. And the nice thing about the bands don't care what kind of bar type you're on or time frame. You could go with really low time frame charts and dial the bands in, or you can go on really high time frame charts and dial the bands in. You can use it for quick scalping. You can use it for more swing trading and so on. So the bands have a lot of flexibility and capability. So anyhow, just wanted to show you some of the setups from today. And yeah, the market had a pretty nice bounce today, especially when you look at the distance from the reversal to the day's high. That was a pretty nice bounce, after the big AI, and certain chip companies had a significant sell-off, out of this China news, China AI development news. So there you have it. iGrid Pack 2, I'm working my butt off with the programmer, see if we can get that out by the end of the week. Worst case scenario, might have to put it out on the weekend, but wow, we are accelerating development on everything. And then I'm working really, really hard to get the Quant Tower launch going, but before the end of the week. Now that we got the bands honed out and fixed in NT8, it's easy to translate that final version of this first set of bands. We call this the iGrid bands. I'm not sure what I'm going to name the completely non-recalculating version of the bands. But I have lots of videos that I'm going to be posting tonight and tomorrow showing me trading with the bands live on some lower time frame charts so you can see how they work and watch them live. To me, the easier you can get a system to give you a visual efficiency, like you can see right away, like it makes sense to buy, or you can see right away it makes sense to be a seller, that in the end is the best set of tools for the beginning trader or the developing trader that's not yet profitable. You want to be able to just see right away, okay, yep, that's a buy, yep, that's a sell, and not have to think about it. Get your trading more mechanical, more instinctive. So your kind of your mind is working on the execution side, not on the trying to figure out what direction to go side. So anyhow, look at that nice pump, a little bit of consolidation, accumulation. They held it, pump, a little bit of a pullback, pump. So we had three big waves today. So we'll see in the overnight session if they come back up, press it higher. A lot of times the institutional side will juice the DAX. They'll be in there buying DAX futures because it's cheaper to buy DAX futures and then watch the US indices get towed higher by the DAX running up. And we'll see if we can extend this rally a bit and see what we get tomorrow. But anyhow, really, really great. I just got another updated file from the programmer just now on more efficiency updates as the tools and the signals and outputs work with third-party tools. So as traders in our group keep telling us what they want for outputs and everything, we're going to keep adding it, especially for those that use Algo Studio Pro. That's kind of the main third-party tools where you can connect it to NinjaTrader 8, build your own customization for automation, using outputs from the tools for your signals to be a buyer or seller. Then you go in Algo Studio Pro, which is from that Trade Devils group that they built, and you can go in and create your own custom kind of like ATM functionality. Hey, it gets me in here, it puts my stop here, sets some targets here, has trail stop, and it does all that for you. So you can take a trading indicator that's highly effective and turn it into an automated system that you've kind of designed using the Algo Studio Pro. And there's other ones out there. There's Bloodhound, Blackbird, Markers Plus, and Captain Optimus, I think is the name of the one from Ninja. But so there you have it. Just want to give you a full update. I thought today I had a pretty boring, pretty simplistic trade day, just following the signals, working the short side at one time, then flipped over, started working the long side after we had that big rip. I could tell institutionals were coming in and going to kind of change the nature of the day and press it higher, and boy, did they. Okay, everybody, I got some live trading videos showing how to use the bands live while working trade activity so you can completely understand the nature of the first set of bands and how easy they are to use and how fantastic they are. And I'll do the same when we put out the second set of bands. And then I'll do some videos where I'm comparing them, where I have a market on a specific time frame on one set of bands while I'm also tracking it on the other set of bands, and then, just so you can see the differences. So there you have it. Grid Algo tools and the dual bands we call the iGrid bands indicator, and getting lots of positive and growing feedback that the traders really kind of click with it, which I thought that they would, and so on. iGrid Pack 1 is out, and we got the Momo tool. I'm actually doing an update to the cloud indicator, giving more endpoint smoothing options. And then it's all iGrid Pack 2 the rest of the week, so we can get that out by the end of the week, hopefully. So there you have it. Have a fantastic day. If you have any questions, info@gridalgo.com.